Oh, this woman just picking up her dogs. They got on the leash, and she has to make sure she takes them back home. Not at all. This lady kidnapped or dog napped those 2 dogs. Is down in Florida, and she was caught on security camera. People are gonna start realizing, tons of people have these security cameras in front of their houses, especially if you're taking dogs in someone's front yard. Either way it goes, there's a full clip of her doing this whole thing. Let's watch that. Man, you gotta be a really bold person to kneel down in someone's yard long enough to lure their pet. Like, she knows what she's doing with dogs. She's like, lured them enough, they weren't afraid of her, and snatched them up and walk away in broad daylight. Like, this is just something you can do. They tracked this woman down. Her name is Sherry Comer. She's 49 years old. She's from Lakeland, Florida. She was arrested Thursday after being caught stealing these 2 small dogs from Liliana Moya's house. And she lives 3 miles away, bro. So you can go 3 miles away and have these dogs stashed in your house and think nothing's gonna come of this. Anyways, she's apparently a breeder, and she strolled up to that property, knelt down as you saw, and snatched those dogs up, put them under her arm, and here's her mugshot. The breeder, Sherry Comer. She's doing, I guess, some serious work. And here's the victims here, whose dogs were stolen. She's very upset about it and had to track her dogs down. Little did she know it was a neighbor. Here's the crazy part about this story. When cops did track Comer down and discover these 2 dogs in her house, they discovered about 18 others as well. She's up to 20. Detectives arrived at Comer's home, which was 3 miles down, as we pointed out. And she stole the dogs, and they found 20 more dogs inside, those 2 included. She told detectives that she breeds and sells dogs. I guess that's the new way to breed, is just steal them off someone else's property. Animal control arrived at her house, scanned the dogs, and found none of them to be microchipped. I guess that's part of her process as well, because it's hard to, track down your dogs without that, which I guess is a lesson in microchipping your dogs if you have that opportunity. I didn't know, Jeff, I didn't know this would have been enough of a lucrative criminal activity for you to be stepping up like this and have 20 dogs in your house and expect no one to ever come back looking for theirs. I'm not sure of it. Maybe there's enough stray dogs randomly rolling around. My wife has picked up 3 of them off the streets. So I think you can maybe do it that way instead of taking them to the Humane Society or your local shelter. But she wants specific ones here.
Well, how brazen she was, like in the daytime. I'm not saying, it's better or easier to steal a dog at night. Maybe don't steal dogs at all, but in the daytime, and like you said, she must have known what she was doing, because she was able to lure the dogs, make them feel comfortable enough to snatch them up and put them in the backseat of her car. Are people, by the way, Jayar, are people not afraid of dogs no more? Like, I assume every dog, in my mind, every dog has teeth. Therefore, it can bite me. So therefore, I don't mess with nobody's dog. Like, that's just the long and short of it. Like, that's where I'm coming from. Like, how brazen she was in the daytime. And you don't think the dogs are gonna bite you? Like, no, they have teeth, they bite.
I think I've detached too far from my Midwest roots. I grew up in St. Louis, and somehow I missed that most obvious point in this. I'm glad you brought me back, because that is the very main point about this, is if you roll up in someone's yard, that's when people have dogs out in the yard, because it usually says stuff like, do not approach, beware of dog, it will bite your ass. But I guess since they're small, they assume that they won't. But that's a lie, because the only time I've ever been bitten by a dog, it was from a little Chihuahua. I've been near Dobermans, Rottweilers, Pit Bulls that are huge and could absolutely clamp down on anything they want. They were gentle giants. That little a-hole Chihuahua, I've never forgotten it. I've healed in my hand, but I've not healed in my mind.